Okay, so here's question number 16. I'm really excited because there's 25 questions on the final, and we're already on number 16. So, over here, number 16, it says, which inequality is shown on the graph below? This is really easy, right? However, I want you to try and explore because the answer, you remember how this is a multiple choice test? So the correct answer, I know I'm totally spoiling it when I give you the answer first, but the answer is x plus y is equal to or greater than negative 1. Okay, there you go. Greater than. X plus y is equal to or greater than negative 1. And this is one of the answer choices, and that is the correct answer. Okay? And like, for example, B, C, and D would be something like x plus y is greater than negative 1. X plus y is less than negative 1. X plus y is equal to or less than positive 1. Something like this, okay? So, I want you to know how I came up with the answer A. Because right now I told you that the answer is A. There's like a really easy way to do this, okay? So, I don't know if you remember the block method or graphing using the x and y intercepts, but that is what they did, okay? So there you go. If you were to block the y, then what is your x value? Your x value is going to be equal to negative 1. So your x value is negative 1. Now, if you were to block the x, then what do you have? Y is equal to negative 1, and there you go. And so here's negative 1 and negative 1, and this line is passing through those 2 points, okay? And so that's how you draw the line, and because of the equal sign right here, this is a solid line and not a dotted line, okay? And then it says this is what? Equal to or greater than negative 1. So then obviously we're going to be shading this side because we have to do some work. But over here, if you want to make this a slope-intercept form, you got to subtract x from both sides, right? And when you do that, you're going to get y is equal to or greater than negative x minus 1. And now it's obvious because you have to start with negative 1, you go down 1 to the right 1. And that's why this is correct. And the mouth is open towards the y, so you got to shade the top. Okay? Thumbs up if you get it, class. Okay, so now this is what I want you to do. I'm going to go ahead and give you some time to finish copying this, and then I'm going to give you some equations that I want you to put on decimals yourself, okay? Ready? Go. Okay, so in order for me to give you this question, what I did was I went into decimals graphing calculator, and then that's what I did. I put x plus y is equal to or greater than, right? Shh. And then I put negative 1. And that's how I came out with the graph. And then, of course, I, screenshot it. And then I put that question there for you. But what I wanted to show you was I want you to see what happens. When x plus y is equal to or greater than negative 1, you see how it passes through negative 1, comma 0 and 0, comma negative 1? Now, let me change this number to a 3. Then what happens? Oh, now it's passing through 3 on the x-axis and passing through 3 on the y-axis, right? What if I changed it to negative 5? Oh, wow. On the x-axis is negative 5. On the y-axis is negative 5, right? So I want you to just take a look at this. And this is the same as what? Y is equal to or greater than, right? And then negative x minus 5 is exactly the same thing, right? And look at the two equations and tell me what is the difference between these two equations? Because over here and over here, they're exactly the same graph. If I didn't put the color in there, it's exactly the same thing, right? So what do you notice about these two graphs? Can you tell me? Yes, the one in red is actually standard form. X plus y is equal to or greater than negative 5. And the one in the bottom is slope-intercept form. Okay? Yeah, this is exactly the same. Yeah. So I just wanted you to see that you can have different forms and it's the same equation. And how did I go from the red graph How did I go from the red graph, which is this one right here, how did I go from this equation to the blue graph? And they happen to be the same thing, right? How did I go there? Well, I wanted to leave the y by itself, so what did I do to both sides? I subtracted the x. And so then this x disappeared, and now it's over here as negative x and then minus 5, okay? So I wanted you to understand this, okay? All right, so then now knowing this, now that I show you this, it's gonna be like really silly. But let me just go ahead and change this. So then guys, what do you notice about this graph over here? In the projector, you can't really tell, but this is supposed to be a dotted line, not a solid line, okay? And it's passing through force. And why is it shaded at the bottom? Because it's supposed to be less than 4, okay? So I want you to just take a look at this so that way when you look at the test questions, you don't get stuck, okay? And now that you know how to do this, I am feeling comfortable giving you the next item, which is number 17 here. And I want you to work on this on your own, okay? This is the next question on the test, but it's very related. So instead of giving you a practice question, I'm giving you another one, okay? But this one is different. I don't want you to give me standard form because if you notice over here, these two numbers are not the same. This is 1.5 and this is negative 3. So you gotta give me slope-intercept form, okay? Copy and then give me the equation. Ready? Go. Okay guys, so again, this equation over here, this is very tricky because earlier I showed you a question and I gave you the equation for the standard form, right? So the first thing you gotta look for is the y-intercept, which by the way is negative 3, so I'll put negative 3 over here. And then I have to find another point. And this point is not shown to you. They don't give you the point. So you gotta find the point. Well, how do you find the point? You gotta find the point where you gotta find the point where the four corners meet, okay? So that way you can count what the slope is. So starting from here, I'm going up by 2 and to the right by 1. You guys remember that, right? So my slope is 2 over 1, x, right? But who writes 2 over 1 anyway? Nobody. So you write 2x minus 3, and that's the equation, right? Uh-oh, I hope you can read this. 2x minus 3, right? And then you have to put the y over here because I want the slope-intercept form. But then which part is shaded? The top part is shaded, right? You can obviously tell that this is the top and this is the bottom, right? And because the top part is shaded, the mouth is open towards the y. Now let's take a look at this line. You can't really see, but this is a solid line. Because this is a solid line, we're going to put a line at the bottom to show that this is equal. And this is the correct equation. So then I wanted to ask you something. What if this line over here was not solid? What if it was like a...
Then you just put the greater than sign.
Yeah, good job. If you had a dotted line instead of a solid line, your equation would be the same. 2x minus 3, but instead of this little line over here, you would just have the inequality symbol and it's going to be open towards the y. So then, the top one. So then what if it was shaded at the bottom, guys? Then what would you have to do? The inequality symbol will switch to the other side. Okay? Alright, so now let's move on. Shh. So I want you to copy question number 18, okay? Ready? Begin. Okay guys, so let's now take a look at question number 18. Alright, so question number 18 is super easy, right? Okay, so again, you want to make sure that we leave the x all by itself, right? So let's just go ahead and do that, okay? I want to make sure that I leave the x by itself. I know that you can't really see that, so let me try and write it bigger. 5x plus 10 is less than 5. And so our goal is to leave the x all by itself. Okay? So what is the first thing we have to do, class? Ready? Go. Yay, thank you. You have to subtract the 10 because what did I say? If you have addition and subtraction, you take care of that first before multiplication or division. It's like PEMDAS but backwards, right? Okay. So then, now I have 5x, and that is less than. What is 5 minus 10? That's negative 5, because look, when you have different symbols, you subtract 10 minus 5, and then you follow the symbol of the bigger number. Okay? Yes. So now, if you want to find out what x is equal to, what do you have to do to both sides? Yes, you do have to divide both sides by 5. So then now x is less than negative 1. But here's the thing. The question says, which of the following graphs represent this? And I told you your test is what? I told you that your test is multiple choice. Okay? So then, you're looking for the correct graph. Okay? If you did all this work and you don't know how to graph, then you have a problem. Okay, so I got a really good question. And she asked me, since this is a negative, are we supposed to switch the sign? I just want to remind you, you only switch the sign over here when you are dividing or multiplying by a negative number. Right now, we're dividing by a positive number, and so no, we're not switching the symbol. Now let's graph it because that's going to be our answer, okay? Our answer is not the fact that, well, it is x is less than negative 1. We have to find the correct graph. So then what we have to do on the number line is find negative 1 and put a circle on negative 1. Is it going to be open or closed? Ready? Go. It's going to be open because there's no equal sign, right? And then what is Pac-Man doing? Is his mouth open towards the x or the negative 1? Ready? Go. Negative 1. That means x is less than, okay? So la less than means la left. Remember that? So then we're going to go ahead and shade the left side. Okay? And so this would be the correct graph. Okay? And of course, I'm going to give you a similar question so that you can work on it, okay? Hold on. Ready? Go. Okay, so here's your practice question, 18B. And I want you to work on this, okay? And we have one more question to do. All right, ready? Go.